believed I had the perfect family. Everyone around me envied the way we laughed together, how my parents doted on me, and how my siblings seemed inseparable. I thought I was safe, that nothing could ever break the bond we had, but appearances, I would soon learn, can be deceiving. It all started the day I got my first promotion at work. I had worked tirelessly, sacrificing weekends, late nights, even my social life. The pride I felt was unmatched, and I wanted to share it with my family. But when I walked into the living room, instead of smiles, I was met with silence. My mother barely looked up from her phone. My father was reading the newspaper, and my older brother, he just smirked. "Another promotion, huh?" he said, almost mockingly. "Well, hope it comes with a bigger paycheck. You'll need it." At first, I laughed it off. I told myself he was just teasing, but the look in his eyes, it wasn't pride or joy. It was something else. A cold, calculating glint I couldn't understand. That night, I found a text on my brother's phone when it accidentally lit up in front of me. I wasn't supposed to see it. The message wasn't about work or casual chatter, it was about me. About my promotion. About how my success could be turned into a problem. That's when a chill ran down my spine. My safe, loving family suddenly felt like a trap I couldn't escape from. Little did I know, this was only the beginning. A storm was brewing, one that would destroy everything I thought I knew. For weeks after that night, I couldn't shake the unease. Small things started to bother me, conversations that seemed too sharp, questions that felt like tests, laughter that carried an edge. I tried to brush it off, telling myself I was overthinking, but deep down, I knew something was wrong. One evening, my mother invited me to help organize some old family documents in the study. I thought it was innocent enough, but the moment I entered, I felt a subtle tension, as if I had stepped into someone else's carefully staged world. Among the piles of papers, I found a folder with my name on it. Curiosity got the better of me, and I opened it. Inside were letters, bank statements, and strange notes detailing my life, my savings, my investments, even personal details I hadn't shared with anyone. Everything had been tracked. My heart pounded. Why would my family do this? When I confronted my mother, she laughed softly, almost cruelly. "We just worry about you, dear. You never know who you can trust these days." But her eyes, they told a different story, something sinister. And then it hit me. This wasn't just concern. It was control. Every choice I had made, every step I had taken, had been monitored, judged, and planned against me. I realized that my family, my safe haven, had already started turning against me. And the betrayal. I couldn't even imagine the depths it would reach. The first major betrayal didn't come from words, it came from actions. One morning, I discovered that my savings account had been accessed without my permission. At first, I panicked. Had someone hacked me? But the notifications told a story I couldn't ignore. The withdrawals were small, precise, and systematic. And the signature on the bank confirmation, it was my mother's. I confronted her directly, trying to keep my voice calm. "Mom, why would you?" She didn't even flinch. "I'm helping you, dear. You don't understand how the world works." But I knew the truth. They weren't helping me, they were taking from me, trying to control me, shaping me into someone who depended on them for everything. And worse, my father and brother were complicit. They acted like nothing was happening, like they were innocent bystanders. The next few weeks were a nightmare. Every move I made, every success I celebrated, seemed to disappear into thin air. Projects I worked on at work were quietly sabotaged. Important contacts went missing, and I felt myself being undermined at every turn. It wasn't just betrayal, it was strategic, calculated, and designed to break me. I felt trapped, cornered by the people I had trusted most in the world. My heart ached with disbelief. How could a family do this to their own child? But as I sat in my room, staring at the evidence, one thought hardened inside me. They wouldn't get away with this forever. I would find a way. It all came to a head one evening when my brother openly humiliated me in front of extended family. It was at a dinner meant to celebrate my promotion, an event I had been looking forward to for months. He made jokes about my work, my accomplishments, even my character. Everyone laughed politely, but I could feel my world shattering. That night, I cried alone in my room, replaying every moment, every betrayal. But somewhere in the pain, anger began to rise. This wasn't just about embarrassment or stolen money, it was about respect, dignity, and justice. And I realized, for the first time, that I had the power to change the story. I began to watch them, carefully. Every conversation, every habit, every weakness became a piece of the puzzle. My family had underestimated me. They thought I was fragile, that I would break quietly. They were wrong. For the first time in months, I felt alive with purpose. The betrayal had given me clarity. I wasn't going to beg for fairness or forgiveness. I was going to reclaim everything: my life, my pride, my freedom. And with that resolve, I started planning. Not recklessly, not in anger, but with precision. If they thought they could destroy me, they would soon discover the cost of underestimating the person they had betrayed. Revenge doesn't come from impulsive anger, it comes from patience, observation, and strategy. I started small. I documented every misstep, every lie, every betrayal. Emails, messages, bank statements, anything that proved what they had done. At first, I tested the waters. A subtle confrontation here, a small exposure there. I watched their reactions. Panic, irritation, denial. Each response confirmed I was on the right path. The people I had trusted most were finally facing accountability, and it thrilled me. Then came the next phase. I created opportunities to publicly expose their manipulation in ways they couldn't ignore. It wasn't about cruelty, it was about justice. I wanted them to understand the damage they had done, to feel the same helplessness I had endured. But the most important part of my plan was staying calm. I refused to act out of emotion, because emotion is predictable, and predictability is vulnerability. They had underestimated me once, but I would never allow it to happen again. Every detail of my life that they tried to control, I reclaimed. Every stolen opportunity, every betrayal, they would see it returned to me, stronger and more triumphant than ever. And as the days passed, the sense of power I felt wasn't just about revenge, it was about survival, self-respect, and finally taking control of my destiny. The day of reckoning arrived sooner than I expected. It was subtle at first, a public acknowledgement of my work, a subtle confrontation about the money, and whispers among extended family members that reached them. They were confused, unprepared, and vulnerable. I confronted them directly, not with screaming or accusations, but with calm certainty. I laid out everything: the manipulation, the betrayal, the stolen money, the lies. And as I spoke, I watched the shock and guilt spread across their faces. For the first time, they were speechless. The power dynamic had shifted. I wasn't a victim anymore. I was someone who had survived, adapted, and reclaimed her life. The revenge wasn't about causing pain, it was about restoring balance, proving that betrayal has consequences, no matter how close the traitor is. I saw the fear in their eyes, but I also saw something else: regret. Maybe they understood, finally, that the love they had destroyed could never truly be replaced by control or manipulation. After the confrontation, things didn't return to normal. They never could. Some relationships ended completely, while others became cautious and tentative. But I felt free in a way I never had before. The weight of their betrayal no longer crushed me. Instead, it strengthened me. I focused on rebuilding my life on my own terms. Work, friendships, personal goals. I poured myself into every aspect of life with renewed vigor. Every success now felt sweeter. Every step forward a triumph over the chains they had tried to place on me. And as I looked back, I realized the truth. Family doesn't always protect you. And sometimes the people you love most can hurt you the deepest. But that doesn't define you. What defines you is how you respond, how you rise, and how you reclaim your own story. Betrayal cuts deep, but it also reveals strength you didn't know you had. My family tried to control me, to break me, to silence me, but in the process, they taught me the value of self-reliance, courage, and resilience. Revenge isn't about hatred or destruction. It's about reclaiming your power, standing up for yourself, and refusing to be a victim. Life will test you, and sometimes the ones closest to you will betray you. But if you remain vigilant, patient, and strategic, you can turn that pain into strength. I survived the betrayal, I reclaimed my life, and I learned that sometimes, the harshest lessons give the most valuable victories. Never let anyone, not even family, destroy your spirit. Fight back, and rise stronger than ever.